So, all right, guys, we got to get this one right. On three, we're going to say, welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts for on their mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to our mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that
and
matters.
we. I don't know how we ended up here. And I realized that this is literally the first time we've ever done something like this before. But I had so many thoughts still going through my head that I still had to just release. So with that being said, what's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcast with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great to be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. Now, if you're just as confused as I am about this current situation right now, then let me just go ahead and just get you up to speed. Yes, it's Tuesday. Yes, this is a new episode. Yes, we have never done an episode on Tuesdays, but guess what? We're gonna fucking do it anyway. And you know what? Since it's Tuesday and it's after Monday and right before Friday, I'm gonna go ahead and blend the two of Unfuck Yourself and also Motivation Monday. And let's just see what this Tuesday episode can unfold. Now, I bet you're wondering, why am I doing another episode when we just literally, it hasn't even been 24 hours before the last episode dropped? And to be honest with you, when I released the episode, Worst Friends Ever, as the day, and this is what I love about creativity. This is what I love about creating something, is that although you think that you are finished, although you think you may be finished, you are going to experience things throughout the day that makes you realize that you still have more to go. Although you think that you have given everything, you're going to realize that, damn, I got a little bit left in me. Let me go ahead and dump that out. And I really want to stay back on the topic of worst friends ever because, oh my God. And in this episode, not only am I going to talk about what type of worst friends do we allow in our lives, but the type of people, the effect that they have on us. Now, one thing that I really want you to understand is that doctors hang around doctors. Lawyers hang around lawyers. Teachers hang around teachers. Successful people, yes, they hang around other successful people. And guess what? A couple failures are always close by together. They roam in herds. And the reason why is because misery loves company. Let me rephrase that. Failure loves company. Ain't nothing better than wallowing in your own shit with somebody else. And y'all have no solutions. Y'all just have excuses. Woe is me. This happened because of this situation. They're keeping us down. It's because of X, Y, and Z. So I can assure you that the people that you keep are a direct reflection of you. They're a direct reflection of you, even if you don't believe that. Even if you think they're their own people. No, these people are literally an extension of you. So I really want you to understand. And throughout this week, I really want you to do a little evaluation. Do a little bit of evaluation of the people that you keep within your circle. Because that circle might actually be a cage. Now, talking about the recent current events. Let me rephrase, not even the recent current events, the current events. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the behavior in which some of y'all have been conducting yourselves throughout this entire time, and I'm talking about not just the pandemic, not just the racial uprising, I'm talking about just in general this year, the behavior in which y'all have conducted yourselves, I can assure you when all of this finally settles, there will not be a friendship for us. We are not going to be friends. and I feel like I have to say that. You see what I'm saying? Because during times of adversity, opposition, and uncertainty is when somebody's true character shows. And ain't nothing worse than having a friend that you thought was a solid person. But as soon as a little bit of pressure comes, as soon as a little bit of rain comes, that person under that pressure, they get the folding. That person that's getting rained on get the crumbling. They just ain't built like the way that they talking about. And I really want you to understand that some of y'all, the person that y'all think y'all are and the person that y'all portray yourselves to be and what we see are not matching up. They not matching up. So I'm going to let you know right now, whoever needs to hear this, your absence in these current situations and your presence in this current situation have been closely monitored. I've been really paying attention to it. And I feel like I need to say this, and I apologize to whoever needs to hear this. Let me phrase it. I apologize to how it's about to be delivered, but I feel like I need to say this in the most blunt way possible. In the most bluntest way possible. Do not fucking tag me in any of your fucking hate speech. Just recently, I don't care what side it's on. Do not fucking tag me in that type of shit. All right? I was born a black man and I'm going to die a black man. But one thing that I was never born, ignorant. And one thing that I will not choose to be is ignorant. I understand the situation that we are currently in. I understand what's going on. But one thing that I am not is ignorant. Do not tag me in no fucking hate speech, hate anything. Just because, just because we being oppressed or anything of that nature does not mean that we start to become the oppressors. That does not mean that we start to attack everybody else. We do not start to treat everybody else in the same way that we've been feeling. So if you've been one of them people that have been wondering why I have not reached out towards you, it's because of that. And I have finally addressed it. Now let me switch gears a little bit. Do not fucking tag me in any type of hate towards any police officer. Do not ask me about Trump. Do not ask me about anything political. I am not a fucking politician. I am not. I recently had somebody and they tagged me in some stuff where they was talking about assaulting the cops. I don't know where the fuck you thought we was that close. I don't understand how you misconstrued and thought that we were that close. That you could put me in a situation like that? Treason? Conspiracy? You have lost I have never cussed somebody out the way that I wanted to cuss that person out. But I've learned to not handle certain things over the internet. But do not ever tag me in something like that. And I bring that up because one thing that's a worse friend, like what's a real bad friend, and a lot of people don't understand, is a friend that tries to force their beliefs and views onto you. Let me rephrase that. A friend that puts you in a fucked up situation, knowing what type of person you are, knowing your situation, knowing your life. I want to surround myself around friends that push me for greatness. Just recently, I was just talking to my good friend, my brother Andy, and he was talking about like, I'll push you out of the nest because I know you a soar. I don't think you heard that. I'll push you out of the nest because I know you can soar. Some of you are dragging your friend down to hell because you're afraid to go down there by yourself. Some of y'all are dragging your friend down below because of the decisions that you made, but you too irresponsible to accept responsibility for your actions. So you rather bring everybody else down with you. I really need you to understand that the circle that you have around you, the people that you bring into your life, they have the power to either push you towards your goals or they are the reason why you have not reached them. Worst friends. Some of the worst friends are the ones that have no navigation of where they need to go, and they love just being lost with somebody. Back in 2000, podcast came out, 2018. I used to sit and drink with this one guy every weekend. And we would sit and we would drink and we would just get pissy drunk. We would talk about our day at work. We'd talk about our depression, how we can relate, because, misery loves company. And we wouldn't talk about anything important. Let me rephrase. We wouldn't talk about anything that involved execution. We didn't talk about anything that solved the problem. We would just get drunk. I would throw up or pass out, and that was it. That was so unproductive. And the only thing that it did it kept me in the quicksand that I was already in. So when I finally started to realize what type of situation and what type of person I had become, I started to go ahead and start pulling myself out of that. Started to use my gift for what it was. Started to allow God to speak through me. I started to launch the podcast. And once I started to do all of that, we started to separate. We didn't hang out on the weekends no more. We barely even talked at work. In fact, we started to actually bicker back at work. And to the point where we just really didn't have anything to talk about. I bring that up because I really want you to understand something. That the worst type of friend that you could have in your life, let me rephrase that. Let me just take the friend out of the equation. The worst type of person that you could have in your life is somebody that loves to just be lost with you, that loves to just be hurt with you, but doesn't want to recover with you, that does not want to grow with you, does not want to execute with you. They got all the problems in the world about why X, Y, and Z is going on. And I can assure you, this person was really a solid individual in the sense that they could probably, if they got their shit together, they could actually move forward in life, but they were hurting inside. And I really want people to understand that people heal differently. People recover at a different rate. The same way that it takes for somebody to recover from an injury faster than another person is the same way that it takes for somebody to recover emotionally and mentally. And as I began to recover emotionally, he was still hurting. And we could no longer hang out. And yeah, did it hurt? Absolutely. But the thing that we tend to do is that we start to realize that we recovering from our emotional scars and injuries. But because our friends have not recovered, because our friends have not entered recovery yet, we, instead of moving on, we re-injure ourselves so that way we can stay with them during the recovery process. And each time we get better, we realize that they have not, and we injure ourselves again. Self-destructive. Now, I really want to give you another example of what a bad friend is. You know, what a bad friend is. But one of the worst type, and this is one of the worst types of friends, is the one that doesn't believe in you. Let me rephrase that. The one that can't see the bigger vision. They can't see it. They can only see things at their viewpoint. Well, you know what? Honestly, now that you really think about it, that's not really their, I mean, it's their fault, but that does not make them a bad friend. You see what I'm saying? It just makes you stupid for sticking with them. And I had to say it just as it is. You see what I'm saying? Like, you trying to explain it to them, you broke it down and everything, you gave them the 5 W's, they still don't see it, yet you still trying to explain it. That's kind of the definition of insanity. And I remember having a good friend of mine, real good friend. And I'm talking about we clicked. But once I started to make progress within my life, they didn't see it. And the problem is that sometimes we are the bad friend to ourselves. It ain't even the person. We the bad friend to ourselves. We keep these people in our lives that cannot see the vision. We keep these people in our lives that have doubt in us, that do not believe in us. And we keep them in our lives because we don't want to be alone. In fact, we try to sell them back to us. And that's exactly what would go on. He didn't see the vision. And instead of just like, all right, man, well, this is where we separate ties, I started making up excuses for him. Oh, he'll see it eventually. He'll come around eventually. Oh, man, he just tripping. He don't understand it just yet. You know, I'm barely understanding it. You know, and I would just sell myself these petty ass excuses. But that wasn't the case. One thing that I've realized is God got a way of showing you things that you thought that you've been asking for. But because it's not in black and white in front of our faces, just yelling like, hey, this is the answer that you've been looking for, that we ignore it. But the thing that you usually pray on, the thing that you've been asking for, had a way of showing itself. Sometimes we just need to listen. Sometimes we're the worst friend to ourselves. We don't stand up for ourselves in the way that we supposed to. You know, we draw the line in the sand, but as soon as it gets crossed, all we do is just back the line back up. We say that we're going to do this and make a change for the better, but for some reason we accept these petty ass excuses. We not good friends to ourselves. We the worst type of friend. And for years, I was the worst type of friend. I didn't push myself for greatness. I allowed people to talk to me in the way that I accepted them to talk to me in. Let me rephrase, that's not it now. I allowed people to talk to me in a way that I wouldn't talk to myself. I didn't push myself for greatness. I didn't set my goals high for myself. I had goals for everybody else. I wanted to see everybody else successful. I wanted to push everybody else to greatness. But when it came to me, I was prepared to accept second place and third. I was not a good friend for myself. And I think that's the worst type of friend, is when you're not a good friend to yourself. So now that I'm done being a negative Nancy, let's go ahead and talk about like the type of good friends. You see what I'm saying? And we always misconceive, like, you know, a good friend is a friend that's about to fight for you. You know, a good friend is a friend that's going to stand up for you when nobody else would. A good friend is a friend that's always got your back. I'm going to just explain something to you, and I really need y'all to understand. That's the bare fucking minimum of what a friend is. That's the bare minimum of what a friend is. If you somebody friend, you supposed to stand up for them when nobody else would. If you somebody else friend, you supposed to have their back. If you somebody else friend, you supposed to be there for them. That's what a fucking friend is. That's the bare minimum. Y'all be putting the bare minimum of what a friend on a pedestal and calling that shit loyalty. You want me to tell you what loyalty is? Loyalty is telling your friend they dream, and all of a sudden they have adopted your dream as if it was their own. And when I mean that they have adopted your dream as if it was their own, they have bigger aspirations for you. They push your dream for you. I'm going to give you a couple of people. You know, I normally don't name drop in these type of episodes. I normally don't. But Stasar and Yepes, I remember when I first told him my dream about this. That man literally pushed my dream as if it was his own. When I did the 1 year anniversary, that man literally helped me set up the entire event. I'm talking about push my dream as if it was his own and never asked for a thing in return. The gentlemen from Are Active. Like, and I bring these people up because these are the people that you see me in pictures with. You see what I'm saying? And I want you to understand that we so quick to take pictures with somebody just because our outfits match. We so quick to take pictures of somebody because, oh, that's just the vibe. You know, I just want to show people that I'm locked in. No. These people, these gentlemen, Mike, Nick, Andy. When I tell you I went to my first show and they showed up to my show, cheering for me, helping me set up. One had one camera. The other one had another camera. They getting zoom in. They telling me, like Nick literally telling me, hey, Meech, stand this way so we can get a better angle of you. Hey, look up so we can get a better, like that's what fucking friendship is. Pushing it. So when the idea of being sponsored by them came up, I said, hell yeah. That's why when you go to the site, you see me in like, you know, like the hoodies and stuff like that. When I did my 1 year anniversary, they showed up. And once again, they really supported it like it was their own. If you got friends that don't, like, it's one thing to believe in you. But when you believe in somebody, let me explain this real quick. When you believe in somebody, right? You believe in them to the point that you know that they gonna be successful. You betting everything on black, so you betting everything on that person, right? When you believe in somebody, you want to see them be successful. So when they got events, when they got these things, when they just got something, you pushing it. You're not asking for a fucking discount. You're not asking for anything. You just want to see them successful. I got a cousin, you know, and this a name dropping ass episode. I ain't even about to lie to you. This one name dropping episode. But I got a cousin, Devon. Man, when I tell you, they ain't making human beings like they made this person. Oh my God. I remember one time he got into a full-on argument. I talked about it in the other episode, but he got to a full-on argument. I'm talking about brought in references, brought up history, had a thesis, and he never even tagged me in the conversation. He just defended me. Like we always get so hung up in loyalty and all of these other things, but that's the bare minimum of what a friend is. The same type of friend that you need to be to yourself is the same qualities that you should be looking at somebody else. I'm talking about a friend that call you and just check up on you like this. Hey man, I'm just trying to tap in. I ain't want anything. I just wanted to make sure that you was good. I'm talking about a friend that call you and just say, hey man, I had you in my mind. I had you on my mind. What's going on? You all right? I remember I had somebody tell me, they was looking at one of my videos and they immediately went to my DMs and said, Is everything going on? Everything okay? Because I can tell in your energy that something ain't right. The way that you're speaking ain't something right. Shout out to Paula. Something ain't right with your energy. Do you know how much that actually means to me? That means a lot. Because it tells me that you paying attention. And I understand, I may be and the things that I'm saying, this may be a lot for other people. This may be a lot. This may be. And I understand we all got our own lives. We got marriages, we got kids, we got jobs. Hell, it's a fucking pandemic and a racial dang on back and forth uprising going on right now. And it might be a zombie apocalypse next month. I don't know. We all got our own lives. And I ain't expecting you to be in somebody's life 24/7. But when you really take a step back and ask what type of friends that we want to have within our lives, I gave you references. And just to put it simple, I want friends. I want to surround yourself around people that want to see you successful just as much as they want to see themselves successful. Surround yourself around people that have bigger goals than just the bullshit that y'all have been going through. Like the same 1-2, the same 9 to 5. Your friends should dream as big as you, and they should encourage you to dream big. Your friends should get upset with you when you dream small, when you accept bullshit. They should get upset with you. When you got a friend that's upset with you because you're not putting yourself in a position that you're supposed to be in, you're not utilizing your worth in the way that it's supposed to be in, you're not capitalizing on your potential the way that you're supposed to be, and they upset with you, you better grab them, hold them, and tell them that you love them, because that's a real mother... Let me stop cussing, because it's just a real friend. That's a real friend. So just like what I said last episode, I challenge you to do a reevaluation of the people that you have within your circle. And I'm talking about in relationships too. And although I said friendships and everything, I want you to understand that your relationship count. If your relationship is just based off of just what sex and good conversation, I can assure you that you're in a bullshit relationship. And I promise you, we might touch on that later on down the line. Relationship problems. I don't know, what is that, 5? But I'm going to leave you with this real quick. Your relationship, that person should be pushing you towards success the same way that you expect your friends to. This week, reevaluate who you got in your circle. And I can't stress it enough, because that circle might actually just be a cage. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned Mondays and Fridays. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Once again, that's Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled Meech. Once again, that is Meech. Don't forget to like the podcast, share the podcast, and follow the podcast. Stay hungry. Stay motivated. I'm out.